Anthropic just made their cheapest model fight their most expensive one.
And the cheap one almost won. Claude Sonnet 5 just went live in Claude Code and on the Claude platform. It's becoming the default model on every free and pro account. No upgrade required. Here's the part that should be impossible.
It costs $2 in, $10 out per million tokens, less than half what Opus 4.8 costs on both ends.
And on Anthropic's own agentic coding benchmark, it scores 63.2%.
Opus scores 69.2.
A 6-point gap for less than half the price.
That's not the cheap option anymore. That's just the smart pick.
So what's actually different? Sonnet 5 is built to run agents on its own, planning multi-step tasks, calling tools like browsers and terminals, finishing the job without you babysitting every step. Anthropic's own framing is that it's close to Opus 4.8 on raw capability. On knowledge work tasks, it actually edges Opus out. Slightly, but it does.
And builders are already running it for real. Zapier handed it a 2-part job: update Salesforce account tiers, then send a launch announcement to enterprise contacts.
It finished both end to end. Their engineers' words, that used to stall halfway. Lovable's co-founder put it differently. A model that knows when to say no is just as important as one that knows how to build. Translation, when it isn't sure, it stops. It doesn't guess and break your repo. That matters more than it sounds like.
Anthropic's own safety testing found Sonnet 5 has a lower rate of unwanted behavior than the model it replaces, and it's noticeably worse on purpose at one specific skill: writing cyber exploit code.
That's deliberate. A model running unattended in your terminal is safer when it's bad at the one thing that could actually hurt you.
Here's the assumption this breaks.
You'd think the cheap default model is for simple chat, and the expensive one is the only one you trust with real agent work.
Not anymore. The model every free user gets by default can now plan a task, open a browser, run a terminal command, and finish the job at a level that, a few months ago, needed the flagship. That's the real fight labs are having right now. Anthropic, OpenAI with GPT 5.6 Sol, Google with Gemini 3.1 Pro. They've all basically caught up on, can it use tools?
The fight isn't capability anymore. It's who can do it this cheap and this reliably without a human watching every move.
But, and this is the part the thumbnail doesn't tell you, Opus 4.8 still wins on the hardest coding tasks.
69 versus 63 isn't nothing. Anthropic's own advice: when you need maximum accuracy, reach for Opus instead. For literally everything else, Sonnet 5 is the better dollar. Here's the receipt nobody's mentioning.
Anthropic also changed the tokenizer with this release, so the same prompt can now count as up to 35% more tokens than it did before.
Your real bill depends on more than the sticker price. It depends on how many tokens your own prompt counts as now.
And that $2 price is a limited time number. It holds through the end of August, then it steps up. Lock in the cheap rate while it lasts, but budget for the bump. So who's actually putting this to work?
A Rust engineer asked it to investigate a bug. Unprompted, it wrote a test to reproduce it, fixed it, then stashed the fix, just to confirm the bug came back without it.
Nobody asked it to do that last part.
One team ran it against dozens of their hardest real pull requests. Every one came back tested, verified, done, on its own. Another engineer says it's at its best on the code nobody wants to touch. Race conditions, hidden tests, bugs that trace back further than anyone expected. And it's not just coding. Teams are pointing it at legal research, at data analysis, even insurance paperwork. The same model, doing the boring multi-step work nobody wants to babysit. Zoom out for a second.
A year ago, agentic meant a slow, expensive demo that broke on step 4. Now, it's the default setting on the free tier of the most used coding assistant in the room. That's the real story here. Not one model beating another on a chart, but the floor for good enough to trust unattended, dropping this fast, this publicly, at a price this small.
And if you watched our breakdown of Fable 5 a few weeks back, that was the expensive flagship flex.
This is the one that actually ships to your daily workflow.
So, is Opus optional now? For almost everything you build going forward, yes. Same agent behavior, a fraction of the bill, and it's already the default.
For the one task you can't afford to get wrong, keep Opus on call. Claude Sonnet 5 is live right now. Go try it before the price goes up.